Welcome to Our Schools, Our Future. I'm Jan Lancaster, Superintendent of Catholic Schools for the Archdiocese of New Orleans. Tonight, I have Joey Scafidi with me, and he is principal, or president, I should say, of Christian Brothers. So, Joey, welcome.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
You know, I've known you a long time, and one thing that I've always really admired about you is the way that you live your Catholic faith. First as principal of St. Louis, and now as president principal of Christian Brothers. And when I see you in action there, it just permeates the Catholic identity and our Catholic faith. So could you tell me a little bit about how do you accomplish that?
Well, I think for it to be authentic, it's got to be a part of who you are. And I am a proud practicing Catholic, and I do bring that aspect of my personal life to my professional life as well. I expect that of all who work at Christian Brothers, and have surrounded myself with an outstanding leadership team and faculty. So that's the basis by which we bring it to the students.
And I think also, as I've been to Christian Brothers, the LaSallian tradition there permeates everything you do. And I see that as well in the other LaSallian schools, De La Salle, St. Paul's, and we'll hear from Rummel later on. But could you tell us a little bit about what that means to you and what that means to Christian Brothers?
Well, we do have the added beauty of what we do to be not only Catholic, but LaSallian as well. And my own roots of LaSallian heritage date back to being educated by the Christian Brothers. So it's been an honor to be able to serve and give back in a LaSallian Christian Brothers school. To be LaSallian means to offer a program that involves faith, community, and service. To instill those principles in the students so that they can learn to be good people as well as learned individuals. So we are conscious about faith formation with our students, giving them the opportunity to be of service, not only within the school, but in the community at large, and certainly to respect their fellow classmates, but humankind in general.
You know, as you pointed out, you went to Archbishop Rummel High School.
I did.
And so you know firsthand how the LaSallian tradition can be embedded in who you become as an adult. And we see that going back to Christian Brothers, which, you know, that's the whole meaning of Catholic education. That's who we are, that's what we do. And like I said, I've seen that in you. Many conversations we've had, it's always been, well, what's best for the child? How can we help the family, and what can we do to make the world a better place? And you know, at Christian Brothers, you all are doing that in great ways. And I know recently you had your SACS visit.
We did.
As well as some other curriculum initiatives that you all have embraced. Could you tell us a little bit about what's going on about the SACS visit and how that went?
Sure. Well, you know, this is nothing new, and I certainly can't take credit for the idea that an educational program built on a response to student needs is innovative. Actually, our founder, over 300 years ago, moved education from being taught in Latin to being taught in the practical language of the particular area. So he taught us from his own example to simply assess what the students' needs are and respond to it. So we've done that in terms of spiritual faith formation by creating opportunities that middle school boys will respond to. Days of retreat, prayer services, even a day where the entire school is involved in a service project. Last year, our students divided City Park into various regions, and we cleaned City Park. In terms of the curricular program, the need is technological. If we're going to teach young boys, we have to meet them where they are, and they are of a technological age. So our iPad initiative is getting off the ground this year. And certainly it's come with its challenges, but it is also one of the powerful practices that we were recognized for in the recent SACS visit that you mentioned. It doesn't stop there. We extend into our extracurricular program. We had been offering over 24 extracurricular activities because we think this is an important component of middle school education. We've continued to add to that list. Most recently, that of a marching band, instrumental band. We have about 70 boys out of a student body of 350 who are in the band program. And then this year I've also instituted a Lego League robotics club because the students are looking for that. So it's very simple. You identify what the students need, and you do your best to create a program that's going to respond to those needs.
You know, Joey, I just want to tell you, I've known you since we got our Masters in Administration together. So I've known you many times.
Just a few years ago.
Just a few years, that's right, just a few years. And last year, when I was at Christian Brothers, you received an award. The Archbishop was there, I got to meet your parents, and it was just a special day. I was very proud of you.
Thank you for that.
Can you tell us a little bit about that award and what that was?
It was a very special moment in my career. The Christian Brothers acknowledge in a special way by affiliating members of the Christian Brothers family, the LaSallian family, who have served them in extraordinary ways. And so they affiliated me last October, and that in and of itself was a tremendous honor, one that I'm not quite sure I deserved, but am very happy to have been the recipient of. But making the day that much more special was having my wife, my children, my parents, friends who I didn't know who was on the invite list, so it was surprising for me to see friends. You, the Archbishop, the leadership of the Christian Brothers, and you mentioned our fellow LaSallian schools, administrators from those schools there in support of the work that we all do. So it's symbolic that I received the award, but I received it in the spirit of the work that all of us do in the name of Catholic education.
Well, Joey, our time is just about up, but I just want to say on a very personal and professional level, thank you so much for your commitment to Catholic education, and you've truly made the difference in the lives of many. And I can tell you, you were very deserving of that award.
Thank you very much. The feelings are mutual.
Well, thank you. And we will be right back. So.
The science of learning is an imperfect one, but Louisiana Catholic schools have consistently instituted a formula for success. An astonishing 95% of Catholic school students go on to college, and last year they brought with them over $185 million in scholarship awards. Shouldn't you invest in success and the confident leaders of tomorrow? Louisiana Catholic schools, in a class of their own.
Welcome back to Our Schools, Our Future. We have some people from Archbishop Rummel High School. We have Brother Gail Condit, and we have Assistant Principal Sarah Ross, and they're going to tell us about some exciting things that are happening at Rummel. Brother Gail, thank you for coming here today and being with us.
Well, Jan, thank you very much for inviting us. Yes, we are quite excited at Rummel High School. In particular, I might mention the LaSallianization that's taking place there. And by that I mean having the opportunity presently as president of Archbishop Rummel High School to bring in the LaSallian tradition, which is 333 years old. The Christian Brothers are presently in 84 countries of the world. We have 900 schools, and a student body assembly, if we put them all together, about 870,000 students. But after giving you those statistics, what I want to say is we Christian Brothers throughout the world obviously have learned a few things about school, and the older brothers have taught me some of these things, and I have the privilege to bring these particular principles to Archbishop Rummel High School.
Well, we're so glad that you're at Archbishop Rummel High School and that the LaSallian tradition through the Christian Brothers' presence is back at Rummel.
Thank you. Brother Michael Livaday and I are fortunate to be assigned there, and we are enjoying our stay very much.
And you know the excitement is there. When I talk to the alumni and when I talk to the students and the teachers, they're so excited about having that presence back. So we thank you for saying yes. We thank you for being present in all that you do for Archbishop Rummel High School. And then Sarah, I'm excited that you're here with us today because some exciting curriculum initiatives are going on at Rummel, and we want to hear a little bit about that.
Hi, thank you for having us. We have some really new innovative programs going on that started this year at Rummel, including a biomedical sciences curriculum. It's a 4-year elective study.
Neat.
It's wonderful. And then a parallel track is a law studies curriculum as well. And both of these curricula are designed so that students will not only have an idea what career they might want to explore, but they'll have some real rich opportunities to work with professionals in those career clusters, not just doctors on the biomedical, but all the allied health professionals, nurses, even seeing patients with various conditions that they study. And then on the law side, working with attorneys, going to the mock trials of the law students in town, going to, next week for instance, they're going to the BP case to see one of the big trials in this area in action. They're going to have real world experience so that when they leave our program, they'll have a realistic idea of what kind of career they might want to go into.
That is exciting.
If I may add something to that, we're fortunate in that Dr. Donald Gaver, the chairman of the Tulane Biomedical Engineering Department, will be working with us as well, along with Dr. Nicholas Pazan, who is the professor and director of the LSU Neuroscience Center. So we're fortunate to have these professionals work with us because without a doubt they will give added strength to these academic programs.
Wow, I mean, this is wonderful, and what I like about it as well is you're getting so many people from the community involved.
Yes.
And could you tell us a little bit about that? As you were saying, you have doctors and attorneys.
We have attorneys. We have Jim Letton, who's now at Tulane, who is working with us, as well as Chuck Credo, who is working with us, and Mr. Credo is involved with the forensic lab in Jefferson Parish. So our students have already toured the lab. They've seen what it's like from the legal side, and even greater beauty is we can cross-pollinate those two programs, because as the biomedical students learn about cause of death, for instance, all the facilities of the forensic labs and the people involved in there can speak to them from the medical aspect. So our two programs really mesh well with each other, as well as mesh in the community. Joey Scafidi talked about the faith, community, and service aspects of LaSallian School. Well, part of that community is reaching out to our alums, to other members of the community, inviting them to share their expertise with our students so that they will know what's going on and make a meaningful decision for their own lives.
I think that's wonderful. You know what else I just find about Archbishop Rummel? Last year in the Clarion Herald, you all had so many people who have chosen the vocation of the priesthood that have attended Rummel. We just heard Joey say how the LaSallian education has formed him in the way he lives his life. I was so impressed by that. Do you want to, why is that, do you think?
Well, having been at Rummel in the past, this is my 4th time back actually, I can tell you that there are a number of faith-filled people there, and I think that's a very important particular to start with. Young people have to meet other people to come to know their faith, and certainly when you see others living it on a daily basis, that can be very strong. I recall the time when Archbishop Amen asked me if I would look into finding out how many religious vocations have actually come out of Rummel High School. It took us about 6 weeks to research all that. And in the last 50 years, actually, 24 young men have become either priests or Christian brothers. And I can tell you that I've already discovered as of late that we have a few other young men that are inquiring about religious life. So we're very happy about that, and we feel that this is a very important principle in life. Life is not just academics, but it should be a faith-filled reality as well, and we value that very much as a Christian Brothers School at Rummel High School.
That's wonderful, and actually this year your chaplain is an alum of Rummel.
Father Kurt Young, yes, he is our first graduate to be a chaplain at Rummel High School, and we're very happy with him being there.
Well, that's neat. That's neat. And Sarah, you all, for a few years, embarked upon the Discovery Walks, which is a curriculum initiative where it changes the culture of the school, where you're sharing craft knowledge and you're sharing best practices. How has that impacted Rummel?
It really made us aware of where we were. It made us see what we needed to do to improve our instruction, to help the teachers build up their skills, and to be aware of how students were processing the learning that was going on, and to make us really just be honest with ourselves in a new level compared with what we had ever been with before. It was a really positive, although sometimes painful, but a good kind of pain that we needed to go through. And it's continuing now, I think, even in these new curriculum initiatives, because we're always focused on how to engage the students in the most meaningful way possible, to sustain their attention and to focus them on the most important standards in a curriculum, in this case, the standards of a profession that they will ultimately attain. So it's done wonders for our school in making us aware of where we need to be and how to make those adjustments to get there.
And you know, Jan, another exciting thing that's taking place at the present time is the fact that the 4 local LaSallian schools, that is to say St. Paul's, De La Salle, Christian Brothers School, and Rummel, have been conducting meetings to discern how we can work together this year. Not so much from a competitive standpoint, but more from a cooperative point of view. What can we do for the community as a whole? And not just one school, but looking at the 4 LaSallian schools and knowing that we all have a common tradition. How can we work as one force for the greater good of the greater community?
And you know, that's the whole purpose of the mission of our Catholic Church. We want to make the world a better place, embedded in the teachings of our Catholic Church. So we thank you so much for everything you all are doing for Catholic education, and I thank you for being with us this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And we will be right back.
I need help finding a doctor.
PACE.
I needed help with my medication.
PACE.
I needed help getting around.
The Shirley Landry Benson PACE Center is a place that helps seniors remain in their homes, providing the care they need. If you or a family member are over 55 years old, you may be eligible for benefits offered by PACE. For more information, contact us at 504-835-0006. PACE, caring for those who cared for us.
What will the world ask of them? Whatever it is, they'll be prepared to answer. Because in a safe and disciplined environment, Louisiana Catholic schools shape tomorrow's leaders. Catholic students are rising. 99% graduate. Almost all go to college. They'll earn higher wages, be community involved, more tolerant of diverse views. And the world will be better because of them. Louisiana Catholic schools, in a class of their own.
Welcome back to Our Schools, Our Future. I have with me the administrators from St. Margaret Mary in Slidell. I have the principal, Bobby Oler, and the assistant principal, Ms. Paige Bennett. So welcome. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you
Thanks
for having us.
You know, I just want to say, when I go on the campus, really, of all of our Catholic schools, I feel that that warmth that every Catholic school should embody. When I come to St. Margaret Mary, I feel that just walking in the doors. I've been by to visit a few times over the past few years. I've been to some functions there, and people are thrilled to be there. And you all really get the Catholic identity piece. So if you could tell me, how do you do that in your school? Because I would just like to share that with people. It's such a warm place to be.
Well, as we all know, people have high expectations of us in the Catholic school. In terms of environment, in terms of academics, but we also know that the main reason we exist is because of the Catholic identity. And I think in our situation, as in all of our schools, we have, first of all, the support of a great pastor and a great relationship between the parish side of the campus and the school side of the campus. And that includes the youth ministry component as well. We have a wonderful 8th grade retreat. It's sort of the culmination of the St. Margaret Mary experience. And then on the opposite end, we have the pre-K 3 and 4-year-old program. And Paige will say a couple of words about that program and how we incorporate Catholicity into that segment as well. So I guess to sum it up, we try really hard to live our mission and our mission statement, and in doing that, I think we're able to live that Catholicity.
Well, that's wonderful, and we thank you for that, and we thank you for everything you do for the Ministry of Catholic Education. And I think, as you said, it's very important that the school has a close relationship as a ministry of the parish. And with Father Rashar, we know that's going. Oh, what a wonderful man to lead the parish.
Yes.
And Paige, do you want to share some things that are happening as far as the curriculum and how you bring in that Catholic identity piece?
Well, part of our program this year that we started, a new initiative, is called Heart to Heart, and it's a service project. You know, St. Margaret Mary was very dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And we've been talking to our students a lot about service and how as you do service, you also get closer to Jesus's heart. And we do service to other people, and that's part of what we're called to do. So with this program, the students do a service activity during the month, and then they bring a heart to Mass, and we offer that up to Jesus. And it just kind of reminds them that we're not only called to do our best at school and treat others nicely, but we're also called to do service to others, and that's a big part of who we are as Christians.
And as you heard the other schools say as well, I think raising children in the faith and showing them what it means to be a lifelong Catholic is so very important. And then people give back when they become adults and with that Catholic faith.
And it has to be real. You know, when you're dealing with young children, it's a little bit more challenging in terms of service projects. Yes, we visit the nursing home and we write cards, but they're not able to do the more complicated things that older children are able to do. But in their own way, they can still achieve that service. For example, we have established a really strong relationship with the Diocese of Zanzibar, Tanzania, because one of our former associate pastors or parochial vicars, Father Thomas Kalasara, was from that diocese. And so we've helped build water wells there. We most recently responded to the unfortunate death and murder of one of their priests there, Father Mushi. And I declared that ever popular free dress day. We brought in $5,000 on that day, the students did. Wow. And we sent it to the Bishop of Zanzibar, who is using those funds to establish a program to try to bring Muslim and Catholic youth together to make a difference in the world. And so when our students see that reality, it makes a big difference to them. Another program that we've been involved with came from one of our parents whose husband is a doctor, and she is involved in the program called Heart Gift. And they bring in children from a third world country, and the doctors and the hospitals will donate their time and resources, and we involve ourselves with the child with cards. The last one we had, she actually came to the school before the surgery and after her heart surgery and sang for us. And once again, the students were able to connect with being Catholic and being connected with Catholics in other parts of the world.
Wow. Well, you know, at St. Margaret Mary, you all really have embraced the whole tradition of service and, like I said, what it means to be a lifelong Catholic, and that's obvious when you visit St. Margaret Mary. I want to ask you a little bit now about the academic piece of it. And from that standpoint, I came by, you all had an opening of a new early childhood center.
We did.
And some other neat things are going on. When I was the assistant principal many years ago in the 90s at Our Lady of the Lake, we wanted St. Margaret Mary's technology program because it was so incredibly strong, and I know that you all have continued that. So if you could tell us a little bit about that, about the early childhood program and then the technology.
Well, it kind of all works together. We have continued to grow in technology. We just added about 130 iPads to our school from pre-K 3 to 8th grade, and that really enables us to add a new dimension to our learning. We know that children learn best with their own learning style and through different methods. And the iPads kind of allow one group of students maybe to be reading historical documents let's say on World War II, where other ones are watching a video of a reenactment. And another group might be researching and applying those skills and creating something to learn about that. So it really gives us a nice variety of ways to reach our students. It can also be used down in the pre-K3, pre-K4 program. Our pre-K3 has been, it started last year, and it's just a real innovative, hands-on learning program. You know, when I go down there, if they're studying the letter V, I'd like to see a volcano being erupted. That's how children learn best. So adding the iPads, being able to touch and look at things as well as discover, really help those kids learn, and that's how they learn best.
Well, I thank you for that. And believe it or not, time is almost up, so it just flew by. But I want to thank you all for everything that you all do for Catholic education, because, you know, I've known both of you a long time, and I see firsthand how you live your faith. And as you said earlier, Bobby, it's so important that we really believe what we do. And you all, both of you, truly live the ministry of our church, and you do that through Catholic education as well. And so on a personal and professional note, thank you for that. Thank you for how you live your faith, and thank you for the difference that you've made in the lives of so many. And I also want to thank you all for being with us tonight. And I would just like to say that you can see what a special place a Catholic school is for a child to grow. And over the next couple of months, we will have open houses throughout the Archdiocese of New Orleans. So I invite all of you to call your local Catholic school and see when those open houses are being held. And go look around, and you too will still feel that same warmth that a Catholic education can offer your child. So once again, thank you for being here tonight, and thank you to WLAE for allowing us to share the good news in Catholic education.